The Arrive Fact is on tonight.
Anarchists have joined this group, and that's who's causing all of the damage to the buildings.
Rioting breaks out in Portland, Oregon, one of the most liberal cities in the country. But will authorities finally get tough with people who want to overthrow the country? Talking points. We'll deal with it.
Beat his ass! Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump!
A white man in Chicago attacked by two black men because he voted for Trump. Is that a hate crime? Bowling and Rivera will debate it.
As far as I'm concerned, Colin Kaepernick is absolutely irrelevant.
Some sportscasters coming down hard on San Francisco 49er quarterback Colin Kaepernick for not voting. We'll tell you what's going on there.
I don't want to hear a damn word about anything that he has to say.
Caution. You are about to enter the no-spin zone. Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Anarchy in the streets. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. About 4,000 protesters took to the streets in Portland, Oregon last night. More than 20 arrested as radicals turned the demonstration into a disgraceful spectacle. Now, I lived in Portland. It's a beautiful place, but run by permissive, progressive people. They have allowed the downtown area to become a squatter's haven full of drug addicts and alcoholics who lay about, sometimes menacing passersby. Tough place to take kids. So it comes as no surprise that the City of Roses has become ground zero for anarchy. The solution to violent protests is to charge anyone who destroys property or hurts another person with rioting. That is a Class C felony in Oregon, carrying a prison term of up to 5 years. But I can tell you that will not happen in Portland. Most of those anarchists will receive no punishment whatsoever. And therein lies a very dangerous situation in this country. The election of Donald Trump has shaken the progressive community. In the space of 4 days, they have gone from having some power to nothing. President Trump is not going to pander to the far left, and they know it. And that's the way democracy goes. If the people believe political policies are not working, they change the structure. And then we have the race component. In Chicago, 49-year-old David Wilcox beaten by two men while a crowd screamed, "Don't vote Trump."
You voted Trump! You voted Trump! Oh, yeah! You voted Trump! Yeah! Oh, y'all vote. I gotta do that to yeah. Beat his ass! Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump!
Now, that is a definite hate crime. But Illinois does not categorize political violence in that way. And based on Chicago's record, those thugs who beat that innocent man will receive very little punishment. That's why the Windy City is the most violent place in the country. The progressive structure will not stop the madness. That display should cause every state in the union to classify political violence as a hate crime, because that's what it is. California, Iowa, West Virginia, D.C., Louisiana, and South Carolina have already done that. Everybody else should get on it. Summing up, a free election should be respected. Those who harm other people and destroy property in the name of protests are criminals, and society should punish them harshly. And that's the memo. Now for the top story reaction with us here in New York City, Eric Bowling and Geraldo Rivera. What say you, Rivera?
I think that you're right onto something, that it should be classified a hate crime. They were thugs. The book should be thrown at anyone who hurts people or destroys property. Ironically, you mentioned Portland being one of the most liberal cities in the nation. It is. It voted strongly for Hillary Clinton. New York, I got stopped, Eric and I, going to a play the other night, and we couldn't cross 6th Avenue. There were 1,000 screaming demonstrators. New York voted 87% for Hillary Clinton. So these people are destroying the property of those who with whom they have some political affiliation and they're in sync with. So it is so stupid for them to vent in the way that they are. It's really deplorable.
What do you say, Boeing?
You're 100% right, and I agree with Geraldo. We respect the right to protest. We get that. Keep it peaceful protest, but even burn the flag if you want to. I'm against it. Wear the flag every day. However, you have the right to do it, constitutionally protected. But when you hurt someone, or even in these situations where you shut down businesses, these are people who've risked their lives and livelihood and capital to open a business, to put food on a table for a family. It's the American way. It's small business. You're hurting them too. I mean, what are you trying to prove here? They should do themselves a favor. There's a map out there that shows county by county across America who voted Trump and who voted Hillary Clinton. Now, there are a few counties on both of the coasts that were heavily populated that voted for Clinton, but the vast majority on a county by county basis is red. Most of the counties voted for Donald Trump.
We're going to get into the popular vote in a moment. But the hate crime thing, I feel very strongly about. Every state.
But in fairness, Bill, in your montage, you could have also included those schools where white students simultaneously started shouting, white power, build the wall, build the wall.
That
so
was
there
a very small.
Well, I think that
would be like
we condemn it across the board.
No. You can't make a moral equivalence to what happened in Portland, Oregon, where millions of dollars in destruction and the police were put in harm's way and everything else, with some individual loons who may do appalling things. You have to.
I saw water fountains where the kids had put colored people, white people for different water
those
fountains.
are disturbed individuals, and they don't elevate up to a national story as the poor guy in Chicago, who we saw obviously being attacked for the only reason of his vote. So I'm telling you, would either of you object
to his race than his vote?
Every state categorizing political violence as a hate crime?
Of course not.
All right, so you're for it?
I'm for it.
Okay, but can we just make a distinction between people saying despicable things and deplorable things, being horrible,
and somebody kicking somebody in the head,
and creating violence, breaking, causing destruction, property damage,
and racism on a large scale, or even a scale that is disturbing because of its explicitness, we'll cover it. But there isn't that right now. Now, I believe that these protests strengthen Donald Trump. These people who hate Trump are actually helping Trump. I said that in before the vote that the press helped Trump. The press, by hating Trump so much, helped him, because now all Trump supporters and people who respect the election, even if they didn't vote for Donald Trump, they're going to feel sorry for Trump, and they're going to hate these people and go into his camp, right?
I agree, but I think now it is incumbent on President Obama and President-elect Trump to do more of what they did yesterday. They've got to have the dignity and the responsibility of that office. They have to. This nation is riven right now on racial lines. The white working class uprising that was the tsunami that brought Trump into the White House. And the lack of black turnout, the brown vote fizzling. I think that this is a divided country now. We have to bring people together, and the more Trump speaks,
what will happen?
I don't think incorrect statement. What in itself?
This is
Trump got more of the Hispanic vote than Mitt Romney did, or
he got 29%.
He got almost the same amount of.
He got more black and Hispanics than Romney.
Almost as both of them.
Here's what's going to happen. All of this come by us stuff we have to come together is bull. It's not going to happen. What will happen is if Trump is successful economically. If he's successful economically and jobs for the working men and women of all colors start to come back into this country, you'll see racial tensions lessen.
But do you really believe that can happen?
Yes.
Do you really believe? I mean, talk to the economists. You think that they're going to?
You know what?
Now they're making Fords in Mexico and they're paying $10 an hour instead of $45.
If Trump does the Reagan blueprint, okay, I believe that will happen. Go ahead.
Cutting corporate taxes is a huge thing. That will absolutely stimulate economic activity. However, the one thing that I think he has floated is the best idea, and which Republicans don't even like, is the $1 trillion infrastructure spending bill that he wants to start on right away.
He's got to get the money coming back from overseas to fund that.
Fine.
And if he does, we're all for it.
He said private as well. But you spend $1 trillion on something we need in every single community in America.
Would you spend that $1 trillion on a wall? Would you spend that money on a wall?
You don't have to. Mexico's going to pay for that wall.
Mexico's going to pay for it.
Mexico's going to pay for it. They're already taking collections in Guadalajara. You didn't hear that? Yeah, they're passing the hat around for the wall. I don't know how well they're doing down there. All right, gentlemen, thank you. Next on the rundown, Hillary Clinton actually won the popular vote. Does it matter? Take a look at whether the election process should change in America. And later, sportscaster Stephen A. Smith very angry at Colin Kaepernick. We'll find out why. Upcoming.